Whitney, and today we're doing a special yoga class on hitting all the right places, all the favorite poses that I have. This isn't going to be necessarily the easiest yoga class. There's going to be a bit of warming up toward the beginning. So always know with you having this video recording, you always have the option to skip right ahead. Eventually we're going to get to the point where you get to nice, long, held, deep stretches. So if that's more what you're looking for today, you're welcome to skip right ahead to that part. Or you can join me through the whole thing, helping to get this overall work for our body this morning and helping us to just get the body moving, especially at this time when you might be stuck at home. This can feel really good, getting all sorts of cells moving, your muscles moving, your breath moving. So we're going to begin laying all the way down onto our backs, giving us a chance to connect with our breath. So when you're ready, make your way comfortably all the way down. And from here, let the breath go deep into your belly. Long inhales, long exhales, giving us a chance to connect deeper inward, calming our body, getting us started. Take one more huge breath in and out. If you have an intention you'd like to set for yourself, take just a moment to state that to yourself. This morning I'm practicing and dedicating this yoga class to, and think of who that might be. From here, starting to bring a little bit of mobility to the body. Hold on to each of your elbows. Let the elbows rise up overhead. And then release like you're tracing a snow angel on the ground. Do that a few times. Inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, lengthen the arms. Trace down through each side. Inhale. And exhale. 2. And 1. Good. Keeping the right hand downward. Your left arm circles all the way up and over. Walk your shoulders a little bit off that right edge of the mat. Deep stretch. We feel it in the side ribs, we feel it in the shoulder. Another good inhale. And exhale, return that arm down. Back goes back through the midline of the mat. Left hand stays downward, right hand circles upward. Inch your shoulders off that left edge. And return. Bring the knees into the chest. With one hand on each kneecap, take a moment for the low back, checking in with it. Some days my sacrum and my hips and my low back are telling me something. I need to be more cautious there. I need to not go quite as deep today. Or maybe you're getting that sensation, ooh, this is good. I'm ready to go as deep as my body's willing to today. So whatever is feeling appropriate, just take that moment to be with it. Good. Lift up the head, neck, and shoulders towards the knees. The toes get extended away from the arms, so stretching each to a long angle, and exhale, curl back into a little circle. Let's take 5 more of those. Inhale. Exhale. 4. 2, and 1. Good. The left leg relaxes all the way down to the ground. Right leg takes a moment stretching up to the sky. You want to make sure head can return back to the ground, so only gripping that high upward. We're still warming up, so no need to force the leg too far into the stretch yet. If walking the hands upward is what feels the best as you're progressing into the stretch, that's great. Some days I just want to roll the ankle out, so that's fine as well. Okay, this right ankle goes up onto the left thigh. Hands hug around the left thigh or around the left shin if you can reach it. Head relaxes back down. This is giving us a chance to be with that right hip for just a moment. You can either stay just like this or left leg also straightens up. Walking hands up that side. And when you release, this right leg travels to the earth. Left leg gets that additional chance to stretch upward. If you wanted to add your ankle rolls, that's fine. Or perhaps you're really working through those muscles on the back side of the leg, working on deeper and deeper extension. Left ankle comes up to right thigh, give it a hug. And maybe right leg straightens all the way upward. Okay, as we start to release, we're going to take a rolling like the ball 5 times. On the 5th one, we stay up in boat pose. So hands can be behind the backs of the thighs. We're rocking up. Here's our 5th. Rolling back. If you want to make it harder, hands walk up the legs and you try to keep it more straight. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause there in boat pose. Maybe knees are bent, maybe legs are straight. If you want to try releasing one or both arms, that's great. Holding a few more breaths. One more good inhale. Exhale, come into cobbler pose. Bottoms of the feet are together, knees are open. We start off with the spine tall. If you can maintain height and the hips do not tilt back, perhaps you're just staying right here at this tall spot. Some of us can tilt forward a little bit, that's fine. If you can keep the spine tall as you're still traveling deeper and deeper, that's fine as well. Ultimately, we all find a place just to relax. As we rise back up, pick the knees back up together, traveling back into our boat pose. With this one, the toes extend away. Exhale, come back. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. From here, leave the left foot planted, right leg goes long. Our right hand or our right elbow comes around that left knee. The other hand's behind us. We head to a twist by straightening the spine up tall and then winding our vertebrae around. Returning forward, this left knee falls down. We inhale, reaching up to the sky. This helps to lengthen our vertebrae tall. Keep it tall as you exhale, lean forward. Rising up, switch the legs out. Right is the bent one. Left hand, left elbow. Either of these winds around that knee. Spine lifts up tall. Exhale. Start to wind your vertebrae around its column, taking that beautiful spinal twist. As we come back forward, we're taking our boat pose shape again. This time with hands hovering or with hands behind us, we take bicycles. So one leg extends out, and when the knee comes in, the other extends out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Both legs straight. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale all the way forward. This still isn't going to be the deepest stretch of the day. We're still warming our body up. So take lots of patience if you're not nearly as far forward as you normally might be. It's all good. From here, rising up, plant both feet, plant both hands behind you. We're going to go for 10 tricep dips, adding a little bit of warmth to the muscles of the arms. So rising the hips up, bend the elbows, and press up. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. When our hips come down, the next thing we're going to do is quite a bit of a challenge, and not everybody's able to do this. So if you're just building up your core strength to do the best amount that you can, get the farthest that you can, that's great. Some people can do the whole thing, so it's whatever you're capable of. What we do is we roll back. When we rise up, we try to plant the feet as close to us as we can. It doesn't matter if it's close, like with the heels actually touching, like a first position plie in ballet, or if it's a little bit wider, either will work. What does matter is when you plant the feet are not far away from you. This would make it much harder. So we roll back, plant the feet. You imagine grabbing onto an invisible rope. So you have to send your momentum forward, and then you stand all the way up. If you make it all the way up, we're also trying to go all the way down slowly. So you're lowering your glutes as slowly as you can. Roll back. Take it again. Good. And all the way down. Let's go 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Whew, good work. Again, don't be upset with yourself if you were not able to get all the way up. That one's really hard. We're building up that core strength, building up that momentum, that ability to eventually get there. So from here, come onto hands and knees. Let's just enjoy a few cat-cow movements for our spine. With our exhale, the vertebrae rounds all the way up to the sky like a Halloween cat. And inhale, belly travels down, gaze goes up. This is trying to get to the extremes of your range of motion for the spine. Take 3 more rounds at your own breath pace. Beautiful. From here, we're going to rise up to our first downward facing dog of the day. So if your flexibility is still working its way up, don't stress too much. Remember that the biggest thing when we do downward facing dog is the lifting of the hips up to the sky. So lifting them all the way up. Sometimes that means if people have the tight hamstrings, that means knees are a little bit bent, and that's okay because we're trying to create a straight line from wrists all the way up to the hips. So from that height, then if there's ability to start playing with the legs straightening, that's fine to play with. Sometimes I'll pedal my legs out like this. One knee bends, and then the other knee bends. And this is helping to warm up the legs, to gradually get that length going on in our body. Keep on breathing. If we stop breathing, we stop doing yoga. Maybe find the legs in stillness. Hips trying to lift higher and higher. And from here, start taking little tiny baby steps forward. So one foot steps a little bit, and then the other steps a couple more inches. And we're gradually working our way up to the top of the mat for a nice forward fold. So once you're all the way there, relax your spine and your weight of your torso downward. It doesn't matter too much if your knees are slightly bent still. That's great. We're still warming up. Even if your pose looks more like this, that's fine. What we're not looking for is a rounding of the spine upward. This means that my hips are not tilted at all, so my legs are really not in a stretch at all. So even if you're going flat spine, leaning forward, that's still better than that rounded position. So hips tilting, let's take 3 more breaths. With your next inhale, circle the arms to the side, stretch up, arch back, and hands come down to the heart. Dropping your right hand to your right thigh, left hand circles all the way up and over, enjoying a really nice side stretch. And up. Left hand down, right hand circles up and over. And up. Beautiful. Starting off nice and gentle with our sun salutations. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, fingers make their way down. Just right foot lunges all the way back. From here, leave the right hand down. Left hand twist up to the sky. When that hand goes down, step the foot back into plank. Rock forward on the toes, squeeze the elbows into lower chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Doesn't have to be super deep yet. And downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Gazing forward in between hands, take little tiny baby steps until you're all the way up at the top of the mat. One more inhale, good exhale. Inhale, circle up to the sky. Hands to the heart. Second side, inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down, left foot back. Left hand down, right hand twists up to the sky. When the hand comes down, step back to plank. Rock forward, shoulders are past fingertips, squeeze the elbows into lower. Back bend of your choice. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Gazing in between hands, slightly bend the knees. Step walk or even jump up to the top of the mat, adding a little bit more momentum to our poses. Another good inhale. And exhale. Inhale, circle up to the sky. Beautiful. Full sun salutation A. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step walk or jump back to plank. Lower chaturanga. Back bend. And downward facing dog. Let's go 3 more breaths. Nice and tall with the hips. Gazing forward in between hands, slightly bend the knees like a spring. Step walk or jump all the way forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle up to the sky. Hands to the heart. And let's take a sun salutation B. Inhale, arms float up by the ears. Sit the hips back. Take an inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step walk or jump. Take a flow. Lift the right leg up to the sky. Step right foot in between hands. Back heel rotates down. Circle arms up to the sky, warrior 1. Hands down, step the foot back, take a flow. Rocking forward, squeeze elbows into lower. Back bend of your choice. Downward facing dog. Left leg floats. Step it in between hands, back heel down, arms up. Warrior 1. And exhale, hands down, take a flow. Exhale to lower. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 5 good breaths right here. As you finish your 5th breath, gaze up in between hands, slightly bend the knees, step walk or jump all the way forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Sit the hips back, arms float up by the ears. And straighten the legs, slight arch to the spine, and hands down to the heart. Close the eyes for a moment. Be with your breath. Body feeling nice and warm by this point. Opening the eyes, feel yourself spreading the toes on the left foot, preparing for Eagle's Pose. We start off wrapping the right thigh around the left thigh. Maybe the toes are able to make their way all the way to wrap around the calf, sit the hips back. Right elbow tries to wind under left. Finding a beautiful shoulder stretch. Let's stay for 5 slow breaths. As you unwind the arms, bring the arms out to the sides, straighten the standing leg. Left foot tries to straighten out in front of you. And kick it back, airplane position for Warrior 3. Balance issues are totally fine, just play with it. And land that back heel, arms up to the sky, Warrior 1. Inhale, open up Warrior 2. Feel your inner thighs stretching. Drop the front elbow to the front thigh or even fingers to the ground. The other arm stretches forward. Long straight line from ankle to top wrist. Rising back up. Back fingers lightly on the back leg. The other arm stretches back. Make sure you don't take any of the bend out of the front knee. Good. Rising back up, Warrior 2. Straighten the front leg. Preparing for Triangle Pose. Reach the fingertips as far forward as they can. And then drop that front hand down. The back hand floats up to the sky. Rising back up. Let the front knee have a little bit of a bend. Maybe shorten the stance a little bit. Cartwheeling into Halfmoon Pose. Remember, the left fingers go to the outside angle of the left foot. That's what helps create a good, strong, geometric shape. So cartwheeling up to balance. And then left hand making its way to the outside angle. Hip stack. Top arm lifts. The back leg tries to go at least up to 90 degrees, if not slightly higher. One more inhale. Exhale, drop the hand in the foot, a nice forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle up to the sky. And hands down to the heart. Take a moment closing the eyes. Feel yourself centered and strong with your balance before we go into that second side. Opening up the eyes. This time it's the right foot that's the standing leg. Spread the toes, creating a good solid base. Left thigh begins to wrap over. And remember, some people just do a kickstand. The left toe is just setting down on the ground on the outside of the foot. If the standing leg can bend a little bit, maybe you can wrap the thigh more. Maybe wrap the toes. With this one, it's left arm under. Creating the full eagle pose wrap. One more good inhale. Exhale, unwind the arms like an airplane. Straighten the standing leg. Kick the left leg forward. And kicking the leg back, we're trying to keep a straight line from heel up to head. It doesn't matter if you tilt all the way to 90 degrees or not. This is trying to just play with balance, even if that's a higher angle. So one more good inhale. Exhale, land the heel down, warrior one. The arms circle up to the sky. We're still facing toward that small edge of the mat at the top. One more inhale. Exhale, rotate open, warrior two. Sometimes I widen the stance a little bit. The knee never goes past the front toes, but we try to square the hips to the side. And from here, drop the front elbow to the front thigh, or even fingers to the floor. The other arm stretches in that long angle, extended side angle pose. Rising back up, rest the back fingers on the back leg. Front arm stretches up and back. Rising up, triangle pose. Front leg goes straight. Remember, this is not about trying to plant the hand all the way down. Notice how I had to collapse my hips down to get there? Instead, hips stay in the same flat plane as if we're in between panes of glass. So with keeping the hip alignment there, all we do is reach the front arm forward, and then the top hand plants, never on the knee. It's either above or below the knee. The other arm up to the sky. And when we rise up, we prepare for the Halfmoon pose. The front knee bends, preparing to take some weight. Sometimes I'll shorten the stance just a little bit. And then the right hand goes to the outside angle of the right foot. The hips try to stack, shoulders try to stack. The leg tries to lift at least 90, if not higher. Another good inhale. Exhale, hand and foot lands down, nice forward fold. Inhale, half lift, long spine. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, float all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart. Another chance to close the eyes and feel the feet grounding into the earth. Beautiful. Opening up the eyes. We take a flow to bring us back to downward facing dog. So inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step walker, jump back to plank. Rock forward to lower. Inhale, back bend. And downward facing dog. taking a wild thing pose. Our left leg will float up to the sky. Bend the knee so the toes are trying to come behind you. Staying here is perfectly fine, or continue to let those left toes rotate all the way until they can plant behind you. Flip the hips up. That free left arm circles all the way up and back, a nice arch to the spine. When we return back, plant the hand first, and then shoulders, and then hips, and then the leg comes into alignment. Sweep that left foot under and through. And from here, land the back knee. Bring both arms to the inside of the foot, and we take lizard pose. So perhaps we stay up on hands, perhaps the right elbow drops down, maybe the left elbow also. Coming back up onto hands. Leave the left leg exactly as it is, but this right leg is going to rotate open. So we're going to be facing toward the long edge of the mat. We lift the back knee, rotate the leg open so that we're on that heel instead. From this, we're getting a long side of inner thigh stretch through that right leg. Some people keep hands on the ground. Some people melt further, getting closer to the ground. And by the way, it's okay if the heel's lifted, that's fine. Sometimes that's a nice place to try to balance from. Getting fewer and fewer fingers on the ground. Maybe one hand at the heart, maybe both hands at the heart. Good. When your hands go down, all legs go straight, all toes toward this long edge of the mat. And for this first forward fold, we're going to walk the hands forward as the hips counterbalance backwards. So essentially we're pulling the spine into a long stretch forward. So try to feel that opening, feel the legs traveling deeper and deeper into their mobility. Good. Walk the hands under your face. Left hand plants. Without adjusting the hips at all, twist the right arm up to the sky. Good. Right hand goes down in front of your face, and left hand up to the sky. Good. When you plant the hand down, walk your hands up toward your top edge of the mat. Step that front foot back. You can take child pose. You can do straight to down dog, or you can take an additional flow. Rocking forward, lowering to the earth, back bend, and downward facing dog. Taking all those poses on the second side, right leg begins to float. Bend the knee. The foot's traveling behind you. Staying here is fine. Or right foot continues to flip and land all the way behind. Hips rotate up. Right arm reaches all the way back behind. Wild thing pose. One more inhale. And then 1 segment of your body at a time. Right hand down, shoulders down. Hips return, leg back up to the sky. Step right foot forward and through. The back knee drops down. Walk both hands to the inside of the foot. You're welcome to stay up on wrists. You can drop one elbow, maybe just that left one, or maybe both elbows down. come back up onto hands. You lift up the back knee, rotate onto that left heel. And remember, this right one can have heel all the way down or kind of balancing like this. Again, you're welcome to work your way downward if that feels like the best placement for your body, or maybe go up to the balance. Fewer and fewer fingers on the ground, maybe hands up at the heart. Find one point to gaze at that's not moving. That's our drishti. Good. Planting the hands down, both legs straighten, all toes to the long edge of the mat. And this time, if possible, we try to walk our hands under and through our legs. If you prefer the other one, take it. It's your choice, your video, your practice today. But if possible, we try to keep on lengthening the spine, lengthening the legs, and hands continuing to walk forward and through. I know occasionally there's people that can easily touch their head down. If that's the case, shorten your stance, because that'll help you get the best stretch possible, working through the places where you actually need to work. Feel the breath slowing through these nice gentle poses. And then walk the hands underneath us. This time, you're going to take left hand for right ankle. You pull your torso toward that right leg, and then the right arm reaches up to the sky or winds around your back for a beautiful spinal twist. Good. Unwinding your body. Right arm to left ankle. Pull your torso to left leg. Left arm up to sky or winding around. Good. Unwind when hands are back to the floor. Walk your hands up to the top edge of the mat. Step back. This is that choice again. Child pose, down dog, or an additional flow. Good. Here we're heading towards some of our last poses of the day. So float the right leg up to the sky and bring the leg under and through for pigeon pose. The side of the knee rests down. The toes are off to the left edge. And then the back toes scoot your way backwards so the pelvis gets lower and lower to the ground. Remember, we're not setting the hip down. Instead, we're keeping our sacrum level as if we could balance a tray right on the hips as we find ourselves relaxing and releasing down into pigeon pose. Coming up onto hands. Now we purposely let our right hip set all the way down to the ground. The left leg swings around. Our goal is to try to stack the left shin on top of the right shin. For some people that doesn't work. You're not able to keep both sitting bones down if you do that. So it's fine to just release into cross-legged position if that's where you're at. If you're stacked, keep both feet flexed so that way you don't collapse through your ankle and weaken that area. So both feet flexed, nice and active. Lift the posture up tall. And then begin to walk the hands forward. Gradually finding a deeper and deeper stretch through the glutes. This is one of my favorite ways to get all the way down into that glute area. Rising back up, we prepare for the second side. So some of us get to that pigeon all the way from the down dog again. Some people will just have the right leg forward and swing the left leg all the way back. I'll show the down dog version, that's my favorite. It gives me a chance to give the legs another deep stretch up to the sky. Lift the left leg. Send the side of the knee down, under and through. The back leg scoots back to lower the pelvis down. Do that little check. You're not rocking onto one hip or the other. You're balanced in the middle. And then we start to lower down onto our elbows. Plant the hands, we rise up, rock all the way onto the left hip. This frees out the right leg to swing all the way around in front. Maybe you're stacking the shin, keeping the feet flexed. Maybe you're dropping it down in front. Neither's worse, neither's better. This is you with your body today. So posture up tall, start planting the fingers, and see how far forward this side's allowing you to travel. Gently rising back up. Let the legs open out to a wide figure V position. This is not 100% of your maximum. This is maybe 80% of the way there. So as wide as you can make, 80% there with the second toe pointing upward. Remember, we're never letting him collapse forward, never letting go backward. We're stretching through the muscles that actually need it up through the center. So once we're here, the right hand comes to the inside of the right leg. Maybe slip down to the right elbow if you have that amount of mobility. It's different for everybody. We stack the shoulders. That's the most important part of this pose, stacking shoulders. And then the left arm reaches up and over, trying to reach to the toes. Some people can make it to toes, but I see some people try to grab the toes and they completely sacrifice the shoulders to get there. That's not what the pose is about. The pose is about the long side body stretch. So no need to grab the toes. That's only if it's already accessible. And rising up, second side, left hand to the inside of the left leg, maybe left elbow. Stack the shoulders, reach that arm up and over. And remember, we're also not letting the right hip lift. We're keeping both legs heavy and grounded. the way up. Plant both hands in front of you. Keeping the legs with the second toe pointing upward. Let's just play with how far forward we're able to walk with our body warmed up like it is. No competition, no need to say, haha, I made it to touch my belly all the way down. This is just you and your body, however deep that is today. Note that different times of the day will affect it as well. Usually in the morning, I'm not nearly as flexible as I might be, say at 5 p.m. So just note that in your body. It's okay to not have the shape of anybody else. This is you finding union with all of who you are. Let's take another huge inhale. Beautiful exhale. Start to walk your way back up. Grabbing the legs, swing both legs all the way to the top of the mat. From here, engaging the core, see how slowly you can set the vertebrae down to the earth. Perhaps setting one, and then the next, and then the next. And as you feel yourself release, we're going to take just a couple of final poses. First, bridge pose. We plant our feet. We scoop the tailbone under and up, and then we lift up one vertebrae at a time. If you can clasp your hands under your back, that's fine. Maybe walk the shoulders under. And releasing the hands, release the shoulders, roll the vertebrae back down one at a time. Happy baby pose. The knees come in, they go wider than the shoulders. We grab onto outsides of ankles or outsides of feet, letting the head relax back down. The feet stack over the knees. Setting the left foot down, the right thigh wraps around, the arms open out to each side, bump the hips just an inch or so to the right so that the knees can take a beautiful final twist to the left. Return back to the earth, recenter them on the mat, plant the right foot, left leg winds, hips go an inch to left, knees start to fall to the right. Hips back down, unwind the leg, recenter the hips. And from here we begin to prepare our body for our final Shavasana pose. What we're doing is scanning through our body, trying to find the most comfortable way we can rest for these next few minutes. So sometimes that means the knees fall inward as the feet go wide. And sometimes we can allow the legs to rest all the way long. Just find what will be comfortable for you. This Shavasana time is the time that our body has to integrate all the benefits of all these poses we've done. All that you have to do to let that happen is just breathe. So let your inhales and exhales be deep and full. Here we rest for a few minutes. Begin to deepen your inhales and your exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching it out like you're waking up first thing in the morning. And eventually roll over to a nice fetal position on one side. Taking another 4 or 5 breaths until we rise all the way up to sit. When we press our way all the way up, find a comfortable seated place. Join your hands together in front of your heart. And think of that dedication or that intention you set for this practice. Imagine all that energy you just exerted wasn't necessarily for your physical body, but rather it was more for this intention, for this idea, this hope that you have. So imagine all the energy that you just shared to that. And as one final wrap up to our beautiful class, this beautiful time we just shared together, let's wrap up with the sound of Om. Inhaling together now. Om. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.